Hi everyone, so this video review is for Firecamp by Jaycie Morrison. If you want to check out my review, I have just posted that. So if you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description below, and if you're on my blog, there's a link within the post. And so this is video review, Firecamp by Jaycie Morrison. This was a really exciting second chance romance. Nora wants to become a photojournalist, but to get her tuition fees, her father makes a deal with her that she must complete a summer program at Firecamp. For Fallon, Firecamp is her chance at a stable life and a career, and upon meeting Nora, there's kind of an instant tension until they realise they have feelings, but their future plans do not quite align. So at the end of Firecamp, Nora goes off to achieve her dream until her editor offers her a change to report from Firecamp. So suddenly she's back, and it becomes increasingly difficult for Fallon to keep from being distracted by Nora's presence. So this was a great story about being true to yourself, following your dreams. But it was also important to remember you needed help and support to do that, and that you shouldn't dismiss anyone willing to help you do those things. So the tension between Nora and Fallon was so intense. It was almost as hot as the fires they were preparing for in Firecamp. So because they were part of a team, there were a whole crew of women adding to the drama, especially those that Nora seemed to be friends with, who were more mischievous than were kind of welcome. So events kind of forced Nora to accept that perhaps Fallon wasn't so bad as these people were making out, and they really started to grow closer. But I knew one of them, or both of them, were going to end up sort of brokenhearted at the end of the camp because of their dreams and not aligning. So Nora really grew whilst at the camp. I admired how far she had come. She was standing up to these women that were trying to lead her astray, and to her father, and she was accepting that she had perhaps made a very quick misjudgment of Fallon upon arrival, and that the people she thought were her friends weren't her friends, but somebody, a stranger, might be. So Fallon had achieved so much in her own development and career when Nora then returned, that the second they met again, all this tension sort of resurfaced a little bit, but with more of an understanding and a protectiveness of each other, rather than a sort of slight rivalry that they'd had before. So Fallon seemed more resistant to things than Nora. So for me, I hope that Nora would be able to find a way to convince her that perhaps they could explore being together, if there was a way, and then fate stepped in to just take it completely out of Nora's control. So at that point, I just willed her. I was like, please make the right decision, please make the right choice, because she was literally presented the opportunity to get everything she'd ever wanted, and Fallon. And so because that passion and connection she had with Fallon, it was so deep, and they shared it. They needed to, everything they'd been through at the past Firecamp, it just had to be for a bigger reason, and it had to be this. So I enjoyed every minute of this story, and I loved how it introduced us to the characters, then reintroduced us to them later in life, and everything had sort of changed, and it's all about growth and becoming true to yourself and achieving your dreams. So such an exciting romance, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope you will too. So I'll pop a link in the description for you to grab a copy of Firecamp, which I hope you will. If you've read Firecamp by Jaycie Morrison, would love to know what you thought of it, so please do share and let us know. And if you haven't read it yet, but you're planning to read it, it's on your read list, or you're now super excited and thinking, yes, I really want to read that, then again, please do let us know, because it's always great to find out what you're interested in reading. And if you do read it, really hope you enjoy it. Bye!